it's called Sufism, S-U-F-I-S-M, Sufism, or Sufism. And it's written by the author, Llewellyn Vaughan Lee. And I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it or have heard about it. He was actually on Super Soul Sunday on Oprah's channel, and it was just unbelievable, unbelievable. As I'm listening to him, and I'm saying, wow, this is the Hindu tradition, this is the Vedanta, this is the Course in Miracles, this is all of the faith practices. When we talk about mysticism and metaphysical, he's hitting it right on the head, you know. So I of course, as always, went right to Amazon, bought it, and I've been immersed in it. So I want to share with you some of the really amazing inspiration that I have received from the book. Now, when I was here last time, I think last month, my message was calling on the light within. And as I just now was sharing with you the Sikh chant, that's what we did. We called on the light within, this light that is our essence, our divine essence that resides in that sacred space. Now, some people say, well, where is that space? Is it here? Is it above us? Is it within us? And I've also been listening to another inspiring leader who's been talking about we are in God. You know, we always think God is in us, and we say that, and that's okay. But what if we were in God? And so that God is everywhere, right? You know, the Hindus describe this essence, this true essence, this light within, as Sat Chit Ananda, which is existence, knowledge, and bliss. It's that place in our being that is beyond names and forms, beyond this body and this time and space. And so when I said earlier in the chant, Sat Nam, Sat meaning truth, Nam meaning name, that truth is the soul. That truth is the divine. I love the new song that we did. I've never heard it here before, but I love that the Christ in me recognizes the Christ in you. So when we call on this light within, this true essence within us, we're going home. So what is this going home? It's the reunion of our hearts with the divine. And this mystic, Llewellyn Vaughan, talks about this sort of homesickness that we feel. And I don't know if anybody can relate to this feeling of incompleteness that we get, this feeling of depression that we might feel, this feeling that no matter what we're trying to accomplish, or who we're trying to chase after, or who we're trying to keep in our lives, or things that we're trying to get, even when we get them, there's an incompleteness in them. And sometimes I used to think that it was a feeling of depression, or as the DSM-4 calls it, dysthymia, which is that just general malaise, that general blah. And I always thought it was a disorder. And you know, Llewellyn Vaughan in this book is kind of encouraging us to say, hey, wait a second, maybe that depression is like a really wonderful thing, because it's an awakening us to a homesickness, to a feeling of separation, that we're recognizing a separation that we're feeling with the divine, with the beloved, so that the lover is the soul. The lover is the soul, the essence of who we are, who has forgotten its beloved. And so the homesickness, the feeling that I want to go home, that I'm incomplete, that nothing I do feels complete enough, no matter where I reside. So I moved from New York to Florida. And I feel homesickness. Is it a homesickness because I miss the cold and the snow? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know if anybody can relate to what I'm saying, but this coming home to the self is the true reunion of the greatest love affair ever known. The divine with its lover. The divine, the beloved, with the lover of who we are, the soul, our soul, longing. So it's a cry of the soul This love affair, this inner relationship of the lover and the beloved, it's found in so many faith practices, in so many faith paths. It's not just in the Sufi path, which is the mystical segment of Islam. But we see it in the Hindu tradition when we talk about yoga. I mean, the meaning of yoga is to join, or be joining with, again, the divine. The Christian, the love affair with the Christ. The Hebrew talks about the Shekinah, the inner presence, the divine presence within. This awareness of union, lover and beloved, it's a mystical experience. It's a state of oneness. See, I don't know God. I don't understand God. I experience God. Experience that. So this morning when I came outside after I woke up and I went outside and my partner's like, look at the bird, look at the cardinal. The cardinal visited us, you know? And it's like, oh. And so is it like the cardinal? Because if I go to grab the cardinal's going to fly away. In fact, the minute I notice the cardinal, it flies away. I don't know if that happens to you. And if I go to grab the cardinal, and if I hold on too tight, I'm going to kill that cardinal. It's the experience of the essence of the cardinal that gives me the joy. And it's not the cardinal. It's the divine. So I get this like little awakening. It's like this little tiny like reminder. Because I have forgotten who I am. I keep thinking I'm Grace. I keep forgetting. I think I'm this Italian from Brooklyn who used to be a lieutenant, who now is an ordained interfaith minister. Stop. No. My true identity is that I am the soul. This body is just a character I'm playing in this drama. You know, when I forget, I get so caught up like Robert De Niro does maybe, or Al Pacino does, method actors, who get so caught up in the character that they forget who they really are. I've just forgotten that I am the essence. I am the essence of all that is. And so the homesickness, the cry of the soul, is the forgetting part. It's the I think I'm separated part. I'm not separated. I'm not. Jesus talked about this when he said, I am the vine and you are the branches. And he was talking about this mystical thing of this oneness called mystica. Mystica, mystical oneness with the divine. And then he goes on to say in John's Gospel, if you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. And here's the best part. Apart from me, you can do nothing. In the Hindu scripture, we hear this too, in the Ramayana, through the words of Hanuman. And he says, as he's referring to God, he says, as it relates to my body, I'm the servant and you're the master. As it relates to my mind, you are the sun and I am a ray. But as it relates to the spirit, I am you. Wow. That's it. Now, St. Augustine, or Augustine, however you want to pronounce it, the Christian mystic said, God has made us for himself, and our hearts are restless until we find our rest in him. We're restless. I'm restless. It's never enough for me. I don't know if you can relate to what I'm saying, but it's never enough for me. No matter what I get, no matter what I have, no matter what I accomplish, no matter who I love and who is in my life, it's forever changing. An Islamic mystic said about our relationship with God, I call to you, but it is you who calls to me to yourself. How could I say it is you if you had not said to me, it is I? So it's like God calls us. God's calling us. It's almost like this magnet, and we're the metal filings. And God is like calling us back to itself. And that's the longing we feel, the pull. We feel pulled. It's the trying, it's almost like we're being urged to remember. Have you ever had a dream? Have you ever gone to sleep and had a dream? Is there anybody in the room that has not had that experience? And so it's really cool because when you're waking up and you're still kind of in the dream a little bit, and you're like trying to remember, what was that? Oh, it was so close. I just saw it. That's what's happened to us. We're dreaming. This isn't real. I know that that's esoteric and hard to understand, but Jesus talked about it in the Gospel of John. He says, you are in me and I am in you. Even the Tao Te Ching says, if you want to know me, look inside your heart. It's right there. Call on the light within. The truth and the essence is right there. So the homesickness, the cry of the soul, comes from the fact that we have forgotten all that I'm saying. And so we ache. And so we feel incomplete. It's a divine discontent. When I heard that, I was like, wow, I feel so much better now. Because I feel like I struggle with depression, maybe. But maybe it's not depression. What if it was just divine discontent? And I say just, but what if it was homesickness? What if it was the spiritual homesickness? Because it's the soul remembering that its real home is with God. And this awakening is what we seek. So it's why we call ourselves seekers, because we're seeking home. And God is pulling us. St. Augustine also says, return within yourself, for the inward human dwells the truth. In the depths of the heart, there is no separation between the lover and the beloved. So what separates us? We get caught up in the identity of who we are down here. This world, this existence, our ego traps us. I feel the longing and I feel the discontent, and I know that the mystical journey is leading me away from the ego toward the self. So that's good news. The good news is, if you feel incomplete and you feel discontent, that's the cry of the soul. So that's the first part of the awakening. The journey from the ego to the self, to find our true nature, to find the divine. That's what enlightenment is. That's what nirvana is to the Buddhist. That's what salvation is to the Christian. So it's not a bad thing. It's not a disorder that we're feeling. Isn't that good to know? It's our soul longing to be home, reconnected to our beloved, and the distance to our home is only within such a short distance. And in fact, I love this. This is in the Quran. The prophet said that the beloved is as close as the vein in your neck. Oh, wow. So when I'm bent out of shape, because I'm only here once a month for an hour, so you have no idea what Reverend Grace is like all the time. At home, at work, on an email, in the street, on 95. Can you relate? Okay. You know, I struggled. Like, I've not arrived. There's no way that I've arrived, and there's no way that I'm enlightened. But I have these moments where the veil is pierced. And every once in a while, I realize that all I have to do is call on the light within